Hello everyone, we are the group 7. So our topic for today is about documenting the interview and validating the information gathered. So let's start. But this time we are going to discuss first the documenting the interview. So what is interview class? It is a form of protection for hiring agents and their business. Interviews can be conducted as face-to-face conversations or by using electronic media. They could be a more traditional style question and answer format, or as an open discussion without a clear rule definition of interview and interviewer. The interviews can be published in the original format as the discussion actually evolved. Example, during email communication or in a chat room, or as an edited, rearranged version. We prefer the latter rather. Editing or rearrangement could mean that the dialogue will be cleaned up, or that the interview is the base for a new written or new composed text. So what is documenting the interview? It is taking adequate notes during the interview process to show that you fairly considered each employee based on his or her education rather and skills. Documenting an employment interview is a form of protection for hiring agents under business. In this lesson, In this lesson, you will learn more about its importance and components that should be included. Hiring managers should document each interview by including the objective of the interview, to get to know the candidate and let the candidate to know more about the company and any job related facts. So, how do you document an interview class? First is the interview's full name. So, for example, Juan de la Cruz. Address, the second rather, and it is included the work and home. Next is the telephone numbers. Then, fourth is any documents shown to the interview or provided by the interview during the interview. Lastly, interviews, age, education, and employment history were appropriate. So, in documenting an interview class is you should be clearly identify sources of all information. Make clear whether or not the interview has the first-hand knowledge of information he or she is providing. If the information comes from another source, identify the other source. Clearly identify any document shown to or provided by the witness during the interview. In addition to the interview, it would be helpful if the interviewers provide additional information. Thus, in the beginning, information about the interviewed person should be provided. Example, live stations, central publication, awards, information that provides some insight the interview's contribution to qualitative research. So these are the things that you should be followed during documenting or how to document an interview class. So if properly documented, these notes can be used as proof of a fair and equitable hiring practice by a mediator or judge. So, lastly, the purpose of any interview is to give the hiring manager and the prospect an opportunity to get to know each other to determine if there is a good fit for a hire. As such, all interviews have two primary objectives: getting a better understanding of the applicant's education and experience and giving the applicant more information about the open position and the company as a whole. So that's all, class, and good morning.
Day to each and everyone. Today we're going to tackle about the components of an interview. So, what are the four components of an interview? The first component is the introduction. So, greet the interviewer with a big smile. Pakita jud that you are happy to be there. Describe yourself. Just give a small detail about your family. So, there's no need to dig too much from your family background, since the interviewer is much more interested in getting to know you. Always keep your body relaxed and with confident body language. The second one is the small talk. So, positivity and politeness never go out of style. You're a business of one trying to sell your services to the employer. Nobody wants to buy services from someone who doesn't seem happy or grateful for the opportunity. So, keep your troubles to yourself. The second one is politics and religion are always a no-no. Talking about anything controversial is playing with fire. Until you know the opinions and beliefs of the person you are talking to, you're at risk of saying the wrong thing. So better yet, ayaw na lang jud isod sa topic about politics and religion. Okay, paano man na siya? It's a no-no. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Your eye contact, facial expressions, voice tone, and body language say more about you than what you speak. So, as the saying goes, action speaks louder than words. So, conveying warmth, confidence, and humility can be done more through your actions than your words. The third one is the information gathering. So, at some point during your interview, so nadyo na question and answer portion. So, mag-Miss Universe mo dito. So, a directed conversation with a specific purpose that uses a question and answer format. Always be ready to answer the question asked. So, when you're applying for a job, you know already the background. You should know the background of the company. You should already know that the pros and cons of the job you're applying to, and most especially you should have the skills and knowledge for the position you are applying. Have enough knowledge about the company and skills required. So that's it. That's for the information gathering. So the next one is wrapping up the last component di ay. So, making a strong closing statement. It is important to recap or summarize your most important skills and qualification. Your closing statement gives you one last chance to try to sell yourself as the best person for the job. Also make a point of to express your interest in the job. Let the interviewer know that you are excited about the possibility of working for the company and explain why you think you would be a good fit. Be sure to prepare your closing statement before going into the interview so that your statement is clean and polished. So, no need to sugarcoat anything. You need to be honest. Yun nga. Nang, at the same time, pakita dyan nimo nga that you are worthy of the job. So, next, ask about the next step. So, sometimes it is hard to sit back and wait patiently for a call from the interviewer. So, as days goes by, you start to wonder what is taking so long. No? Usahay maghuwat jud ta. Moingon na sila usahay nga kanang just wait for our call or we will just call you. So, to help prevent some of these anxieties, ask the interviewer about the time frame for the hiring process and what are your next steps to take. The interviewer should give you an idea about what to expect and when to expect a call back, and whether or not you should contact the company within a certain time. This information is important and will take some of the stress and misery out of the next week or as you wait for an answer. So kanang di jud ta mauwa mangutana no kung unsa atong kung unsa ang kinahanglan natong buhaton, mo gina siya. So next is show gratitude. Whatever you do not leave the interview without letting the interviewer know how thankful you are for the opportunity that that you are being picked as you're being picked and you did an interview, so kinahanglan jud nga nang pasalamatan jud ta kanunay. The interviewer is taking time out of a busy day to give you a chance at a job. So sila sad nun adjust sa imuha para lang jud ma-interview ka. So kinahanglan jud nga mapasalamaton jud ta kanunay. Thank you shows that you understand this and you do not take this opportunity for granted. Is that clear? And last, okay, di pa din ni siya last. Saying goodbye. When it is finally time to part ways, wala mo sa buwag-buwag. Ito, when it is finally time to part ways, say goodbye with a firm handshake. Pero di naman taron kinahanglan mag-handshake no kay there's this pandemic man, so kuan lang, solid eye contact or kanang bitong polite ka gihapon nga mamaalam. After the long day of the interview, address the interviewer using Mr. or Miss and his or her last name or the name you were asked to use. Finally, ask the interviewer for a business card so that you have a direct contact information for your follow-up. So always ask for information, contact number, so kinahanglan na mo i-contact after the interview. The last one is following up. So this is what you do when you go home na after the interview. The first thing to do when you get home from the interview is send an email to the interviewer. You should have the email address if you have his or her business card. In your email, thank the interviewer again for taking the time to meet with you and for giving you the chance to interview. It is also a good idea to restate your interest in the job and highlight some of your strengths one last time. Keep the email short, simple, and professional. So, don't leave it hanging. So, kinahanglan jud pasalamat gyapon ta bisag through email para di ta makalimtan. So, that is the last component. So, let's recap no. So, the first component of an interview is the introduction. Second one is the small talk. Third one, information gathering. And the last one is wrapping up. So that's it. Thank you for listening and have a great day.
Having an objectives of an interview is an effective tool for selection. It is a two-way communication between the interviewer and the interviewee. In the selection process, interviews serve the following objectives. Objectives. Interview gives an opportunity to the interviewer to know about the applicant, verifies quality and accuracy of information obtained through application form and test. From the picture itself, we can see that the applicant and the interviewer knows each other. When you want to apply a job, you have an application form to pre-screen job applicants, to collect relevant and required information, and to initially assess whether or not you have the skills, qualities, and attributes to perform your role as your job. Interview helps to obtain additional information from the candidates as required by the job. Through interview, we can obtain additional information from the applicants. Third objectives. Verifies the candidate has written in the CV are the main points. What other additional skill set does he have? All these are known by conducting interviews. So, based on the picture, it shows that the man thinking what other additional skill set does he have. So that the points to conduct interviews for us to know his or her skills to be fit his or her role in that kind of job. Objective. Gives the candidate necessary facts and information about the job, organization policies, products manufactured, and so forth. When you work in a company, you should know their organization policies, their products manufactured, because it is important that they understand the correct work process policy that will lead to that will set to the expectation for your employee behaviors. 6 objectives. Interview helps to establish mutual understanding between the company and candidates. Also create a good image of the company among applicants. So during interview, you can create a good relationship, just like the picture shows that they are comfortable to each other. They have a good relationship between the interviewer and the applicant. Interviewer learns the applicant, and the applicant also gets a chance to know about the interviewer, or the vice versa. Interview beneficial for the interviewer and the interviewee as individuals, because both of them gain experience both professionally and personally. Both learn their experiences. Keep in mind that the interview process is an important learning opportunity. It will provide them with experience. You can learn their experience and, of course, share their own stories of life that they respond to questions as asked. Objectives of an interview is: interview helps the candidate to assess his creative and analytical skills and know where he lacks and the places where he needs improvement. Example, you want to apply a sales lady, and one of the skills of sales lady is communication skills. Then you as an applicant, you're weak in communication skills, so you don't want you don't know what you want to say to the customers for your product because of your confidence. So perhaps you are new to the company and feel uneasy about your abilities to succeed. So by that situation, you know how to improve yourself, what to do next, so that your merchandise will be sold to people. To conclude, objectives of an interview guide us what we want and go about getting it.
Okay, so to continue, to validate any data received from others, make sure beforehand that you are clear as to what information you are asking for. It is a good idea to give an explanation and then follow through with an example for further clarification of what material you are seeking. Once you have found information that matches the topic and requirements of your research, you should analyze or evaluate the information sources. Evaluating information encourages you to think critically about the reliability, validity, accuracy, authority, timeliness, point of view, or bias of information sources. So, to continue, may I call Miss Janine Labostro.
Good afternoon, everyone. So for today, we are going to tackle about the importance of validating the information gathered. What does validate mean? In layman's term, to validate means to verify or prove that something is what it says it is, or that something does what it says it's supposed to do. To validate is to prove that something is based on truth or fact or is acceptable. For example, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. It is valid because it has proven to be scientifically true. What is the importance of validating information? Data validation is a crucial tool for every business, as it ensures your team can completely trust the data they use to be accurate, clean, and helpful at all times. Making sure the data you use is correct is a proactive way to safeguard one of your most valuable demand-generating assets. It is important because it determines what survey questions to use and help ensure that researchers are using questions that truly measure the issues of importance. The validity of a survey is considered to be the degree to which it measures what it claims to measure. And that would be all. Thank you.